I always, kid with my friends. Well, actually, it's a half kid, really. I'd be quite honest with you. I know you. I used to hang out over in one of the studios, so I can talk to you and tell you, it's a half kid. Where if someone had told me that my life would have been like this early enough where I could have got out, I would have got out. I'd say, no, I want to go and have a normal life and have friends.
Would have said, the hell with the show business career
yeah,
and all of that stuff.
Yeah, it's a half kid because I still think about that. That's something that I fantasize about because now here we are in 1993. I'm 25 years old. I'm a world-renowned celebrity. There's no place I can go where no one doesn't know me.
Right.
And I handle it because I'm a public figure. I'm supposed to be gracious and have fun doing what I do. I love the work. I truly love making people laugh. But of course, since you and I know where we are now and what the business is about, there are aspects of the business that I don't really care for.
Yeah.
Right. I don't have time to worry about how badly someone's going to hurt me.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to do good things that make me feel good and hopefully make a whole bunch of other people feel good. I will always be honest. I will always try to be as clear in communicating how I really feel and what the absolute truth is. If the Inquirer comes up with a story, I wear blue shoes and, neon shirts at 3 in the morning while I have a beanie on my head, I will always explain why. I will always take the opportunity to explain that I am not crazy. I'm very well. I am happy. I feel good about most of my life. Of course, I'm human. I'm going to have regrets. Please let me be human for that 5 seconds. I'm going to have some regrets. But most of all, I believe I have had a wonderful life.
You had no, it wasn't for you to say when you were a kid, hey, this is what I want to do. It's going to make me fun. I'm going to be an actor. I mean, that was sort of
accidental
for you.
I'll tell you how that happened. One of my relatives, I dare say cousin or something, some young person, was modeling clothes at the somewhat now gone Montgomery Wards in Waukegan, Illinois. And she told me how much fun she was having and how wonderful it was. And I thought, that sounds like fun. And at the time, I wasn't like, I just like clothes. I mean, I wanted to try it. I figured, why not? So I wrote a letter to the coordinator of the program if she allowed little boys to model clothes. And she said, yes, she does. And that fall, I was modeling clothes on a little runway.
And that was it.
Fall clothes well, actually it was Sears, Montgomery Wards,
Right.
Everybody that had clothes modeled them. And the manager of the mall saw many of the shows. I did that for a long time.
You've been fighting your fight for independence, and I mean independence across the board.
That's right.
For a very, very long time.
Right. I've owned several homes in different parts of the immediate Southwest in an effort to try and discover, and I have to say still discover, who and what I am inside. I want to fine-tune that. I want to fine-tune that to a point where it shows through in the characters that I will eventually play in upcoming projects. I want people to see even a little bit, the slightest little bit of Gary Coleman. I don't want them to see Arnold. I don't want to see Gary Coleman. I don't want them to see Gary Coleman playing a character. I don't want to see them see Gary Coleman as. I want them to see Gary Coleman playing a part that reminds him a little bit of himself. So that's why I want to fine-tune who and what I am. That's why I move so much. That's why I've driven cross country a few times. I'm exploring. One of my relatives, I dare say cousin or something, some young person, was modeling clothes at the somewhat now gone Montgomery Wards in Waukegan, Illinois. And she told me how much fun she was having and how wonderful it was. And I thought, that sounds like fun. And at the time, I wasn't like, I just like clothes. I mean, I just wanted to try it. I figured, why not? So I wrote a letter to the coordinator of the program if she allowed little boys to model clothes. And she said, yes, she does. And that fall, I was modeling clothes on a little runway,
And that was it.
fall clothes well, actually it was Sears, Montgomery Ward's,
Right,
and
right.
everybody that had clothes modeled them. And the manager of the mall saw many of the shows. I did that for a long time, almost 2 years. The manager of the mall saw a lot of the shows and said, that kid has talent, you should have an agent. And he gave my parents a card to an agent in Chicago. And we went down to see the agent. And we thought, why not? We'll give it a try. We all thought that. My parents and I, we said, give it a try. I started doing commercials in the Chicago area. Mainly, the thing that really started the wheel rolling really fast is the Harris Bank commercial.
The odds were against you.
Oh.
I mean,
We're talking about, it's the fairy tale story. I do the one thing that someone from here saw and said, that kid ought to be in pictures. I end up out here, as well meeting Mr. Norman Lear. And
it has been really fairy tale.
right, I started doing Jeffersons with Sherman.
Right.
Good Times. And all that whole time, Norman was developing.
Where did you? Okay, I wasn't good, but now that you brought this up, where did the "what you talking about" come from? Was that something you used to say?
It was the way I said it. It just came out that way because I was being a kid, and they liked the way I said it. And just like Jimmy Walker's Dynamite, however he said it, it stuck. But for me to throw it, it's to throw it at that moment of absolute curiosity. What you talking about? Just to throw it out there.
I think that there's probably not a harder job ever than for a kid who is an actor. And it's interesting to me that, and I've seen all of these shows where they put the troubled child actors, have come back on. And it's, certainly no secret that, unfortunately, there's been that kind of plague that fell over the kids from Diff'rent Strokes.
Yeah, it's called the curse.
Good kids who, for just some set of circumstances, found themselves
Well,
trouble.
I'm going to interrupt you there, and I just say this one thing to satisfy your question, and whomever out there is watching. The two of them have had trouble with the law and had to answer to the law. I'm just trying to enforce it. I want what's mine, what's rightfully mine, and enough said.